Whose funeral are you going to watch?
No funeral. That new mission Nina Sharples was on about down Victoria Street.
You what?
Well, it is Sunday morning, isn't it?
It's Sunday morning every flaming we don't usually bother.
No, well, sometimes your need of it's greater than other times, isn't it?
What need?
Heavenly guidance. And that's something you could do worse than get a bit off Sunday morning instead of sat there stinking in your pyjamas.
The only heavenly guidance I need is the name of the fellow that shot me.
Oh, yeah, well, I suppose that's something we'll never find out, isn't it,
I'll
Chuck?
find out if it takes me the last of me puff.
Yeah, but that's not really the idea behind it, is it, though, going to church, like?
What?
Getting your own back. I mean, it's forgive us trespasses like that. We forgive them what trespass against us, isn't it? If you're a believer.
Ah, well, I'm not a flipping believer, am I?
Ah, Stan. You've not gone completely prognostic. Huh? On any road. I mean, for all you know, there might have been obliterating circumstances.
Huh?
Yeah, I mean, happen this person or persons unknown had your best interests at heart when they did what they did.
My interests?
Yeah, I mean, happen they thought your health was being affected conversely, like, you know,
There's
working all
not
them
wrong
nights.
with my health, which is more than I can say for the flaming health of that bloke when I catch up with him.
Good morning, Miss Nugent.
Do excuse me, Mr. Piggott, I'm on my way to chapel.
Oh, I like a lass who goes to a chapel on a Sunday.
I wouldn't really have thought chapel came within the orbit of your experience, Mr. Piggott.
Every Sunday, regular as clockwork, right up to the day my voice broke.
Really?
I'd have gone back after I got my voice back and all. Only that turned the place into a bingo palace. Would you say that was the sign of the times, Emily?
I like to believe one can find more uplifting ones, if one's prepared to lift one's nose out of the gutter. And now I am in rather a hurry.
Oh, in case you're interested, it's in the post.
Post?
Tender.
Oh.
Worked out at 11,900. I can't see anyone beating that, can you?
Yeah. 11-7, right? It's got to be good. Even I can't improve on it.
Are you buying the Rolls Royces or shall I?
Oh, I'll get them this time, shall I? You got the meat pies.
Oh, hello, Bernard. Nice to see you here.
Oh, well, me auntie and Alexander both seem to think it'd be a good idea if I came along.
Good. Oh, good morning, Mrs. Ogden.
Morning. I did hear you got Mrs. Sharple's in to clean for you.
That's right, yes.
Yeah, well, I just thought I'd let you know if she found it too much for her and you wanted a younger person. Thank you.
Good morning. Hello, Mrs. Caldwell. I thought you wouldn't be far away.
Me and Ina was wondering.
What's that, Mrs. Caldwell?
Well, perhaps you and Miss Nugent would like to come for your dinner after to Ina's flat. Only I'd be awfully glad if you would, because it's my turn.
Your turn, Mrs. Caldwell.
To do the hot pot.
Oh, it's very kind of you. I'm sure we both love to come.
Oh,
Thank you very much.
Hey, I say,
Yes, Mr.
it won't put you off, will it?
What's that, Mr. Tatlock?
If I shut my eyes while you're talking, you know, it helps me concentrate on what you're saying.
So long as I know you're not asleep.
Oh, well, you'd be able to tell if I'm asleep.
How's that?
Well, I breathe heavy through my nostrils.
It's just as well to know.
Oh, there is one other thing.
Yes, Mr. Tatlock.
Will it be bread and milk pudding or hellfire and damnation?
Pardon?
Your sermon?
Oh, well, one hopes that there'll be a little bit of everything in a sermon, Mr. Tatlock.
Well, I'm a hellfire and damnation chap myself.
I'll try and remember that for next time.
Thank you very much.
Good morning.
Morning, Mr. Tatlock.
Who told you you could sit there?
Pardon?
I'm sitting there.
Oh?
Look, I left my cap on that seat. Half an hour since the place first opened.
Oh, I can't say I remember seeing a cap here, Mr. Tatlock, no. Oh. I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Everyone certainly seems to have rallied round the flag.
Thanks to the sterling efforts of Mrs. Sharples.
She always has been something of a precursor to be reckoned with.
Wish there had been a few more young people about, though.
There is Bernard.
Yes. Of course, the preponderance of senior citizens isn't to be wondered at, really, when you come to think of it. I mean, there must be worse ways of saving on lighting and heat than coming to church on a Sunday morning when you've only got your pension to eke out on. Good morning. Friends, we shall begin this morning's meeting by singing hymn number 346. O Jesus, full of truth and grace, more full of grace than I of sin, yet once again I seek thy face. Open thine arms and take me in, and freely my backslidings heal, and love the faithless sinner still.
All right, 5 o'clock then, eh?
Hello, off duty again, eh?
Yeah.
What's
All
that
alive, eh?
Hey, what's that supposed to mean? He's been on duty all night.
Oh, no insult. It's a cushy number. Everybody knows that.
Do they?
Oh, that's where they get the expression Bobby's job from, you know. Soft touch.
So that's where it comes from, is it?
Ah, well, it's history, I mean, isn't it? I mean, I've got nought against it.
Of course not.
Do you know, sometimes I think I miss my way, not going in for it myself. Especially when I see you lot at the football matches and the seats in the front, you know.
You?
Well, no to it, is there? Just walk up and down, flick a few latches, pinch a couple of cards to make up the tally, and a nice pension at the end when you're still young enough to enjoy it.
Funny, all these years I've been a bobby, I never realised before now how easy it all was.
I reckon you'd be glad enough to see a policeman. That's, of course, if you ever really needed one.
Never find one when you want one, can you?
Do you know, when I first met your Hilda, I thought she was the biggest crate egg I'd ever met.
Oh?
I was wrong, wasn't I?
Eh?
You could give a 20-yard start any time, can't you?
So in future, you will try no new cheap hair lacquer. I don't care if the salesman does remind you of Dennis Tanner.
Yes, sir.
Consider yourself told off.
Well, it was worth it, for only to hear Annie Walker admit she bleaches her hair.
Have you got any of it?
The stuff we cut off, you mean? Well, funny you should mention it. But we were thinking of putting a bit in a box, just in case she got awkward in future and tried her Lady Macbeth bit.
Hang on to some of it.
Why?
Never mind why, hang on to some of it.
Hey, you've heard naught from behind the bar, have you?
What about?
About that fella that shot me at the gaffer.
No, I haven't, and I wouldn't tell you if I had.
What have I done?
Oh, nothing from what I can see. I mean, from the day that you took your first breath. So stop knocking them that has. And if you think that police work is so very easy, do your own detecting.
Hey, Langton, how is it that Grandma Moses and her harmonium didn't lure you down the street to the mission this morning?
Yeah, well, I did think about it, only the trouble is my gaffer doesn't carry a card for that particular union.
You're a gaffer?
Yeah, you can pick him out anywhere. He's got 2 little lumps sticking up out of his head, here. And he carries his own toasting fork about, you know.
In a week, in 1 week.
Get
away. Absolutely.
Piggott, my mugger and me was just talking about you, weren't we?
The resemblance is almost uncanny. Nothing good, I hope.
Nothing you couldn't tell your father. Assuming you had one, of course. Strange. He let me get away with that one, didn't he?
Now he that betrayed him gave them a sign, saying, Whomsoever I shall kiss, that same is he. Hold him fast. A betrayal, brethren. A betrayal that took place 2,000 years ago. But a betrayal that is still as relevant in our lives today as it was then. For which one of us here can say that he has never been guilty of some kind of betrayal of somebody or something in the course of his life? And which of us hasn't slunk off afterwards, as Judas did, hoping to find some way of redeeming the wrong that betrayal had made? And now let's sing hymn number 361. Where shall my wandering soul begin? How shall I all to heaven aspire? A slave redeemed from death and sin, a brand plucked from eternal fire.
Ta, buddy.
Okay, love.
Cheerio, love.
Ta-ra.
Hey, is there any personal service down this end?
Oh, get lost. The towels are over. Or have you lost your eyesight along with your other faculties?
So business is good then?
Just a minute, I'll be with you in a minute, Ted. Okay, Willie. Well, not as good as it will be when the contract comes through.
The contract?
Yeah. You know, the big university hostel contract.
Oh, that contract?
Oh, fancy that.
Oh, don't tell me you're after that one at all.
By an amazing coincidence, yes.
Oh, never mind, you can't win them all.
Would you, like to put your money where your mouth is on that?
Well, I tell you, normally I would be happy to oblige you.
Oh?
But I never bet on certainties. It offends a sportsman in me. You know what I mean, son?
Hey, Stanley, tell us something, will you?
Yeah.
All these ugly rumours flying about you losing the job that I got you, they are untrue, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, of course they are, you know. Just a misunderstanding between me and the boss, like, you know.
I see. He understood that as he was paying you for 8 hours, you'd be there for 8 hours, only you weren't.
Ah, something like that, huh? It's all cleared up now, though.
Then they wonder why us and the Russians can't understand each other.
Who do you think it was?
What?
The fella that shot me.
What makes you think it was a fella, Stanley?
Huh?
Well, love, I don't want to seem disloyal to my own sex, but poison is a woman's weapon, not a fella's.
Have you been putting herbs in that pot?
Oh, just a bay leaf, like I always do.
You've not salted it twice, have you, like you did last time?
Ina Sharples, if you're trying to get my paddy up, you'll finally succeed.
You what?
Well, this stove isn't big enough for both of us.
Well, it's my stove, you know.
And it's my turn to do the cooking. I'd be very glad if you'd leave me alone to get on with, or else I'll pour it all down the slopstone.
It's folk with your attitude that start world wars.
And it's folks with yours that provoke them. Now, if you'll get the plates, I'm ready to serve. Thank you very much.
I hope I'm not being too optimistic about these improvements. You know, when I was a lad, my mother said never to bank on anything, you know.
Very sensible.
Yes, there's many a slip twixt cup and lip. I don't think there's much danger now, though. What do you think, Emily?
You'd best sit down before little over there starts matching us all up and down.
I'm afraid I'll have to be excused. I seem to have suddenly lost my appetite.
Emily!
You stop where you are, Annie Bishop.
But...
Hey, steady on there.
You sit down. If she's got anything to tell us, we shall hear it in her own good time. And if she hasn't, well, it's her own business, isn't it? Anyway.
Yeah. Well, I shall know what to do myself then next time, shan't I?
Pam?
Oh, that Emily with me news. She walked straight past me, never much has looked at me.
Oh, well, happens she's got a lot on her mind.
Yeah, well, she's not the only one. All right, having a bit of a party, are you?
Well, there's a place going if you want it.
Why? Who's dropped out?
Miss Nugent. Well, do you want some, don't you?
No, thank you very much. If you'd wanted me, you'd have invited me.
Oh, well.
Any more?
No. That seems to be a complete resume of what happened.
So all the time you were so bothered about us putting a tender in, all that you really wanted was the figure. For Piggott, right?
Yes.
You make Mata Hari sound like a vestal flipping virgin, don't you?
I won't try to make excuses for what I've done.
I should think you flaming won't.
But I do want you to understand I was doing what I thought was best for everybody under the circumstances.
Oh, come on, Nugent. The only one you were doing your best for was Ernest flipping Bishop.
That is not true. It isn't only Ernest's studio that's in danger, it's Mrs. Sharple's home.
Well, what about our flaming contract, then?
The loss of a contract is merely a setback. The loss of a home at Mrs. Sharple's age, especially one she's settled down into, could be disastrous.
Which brings us to the $65,000 question, doesn't it, Miss Nugent?
What question?
Why, after so successfully deceiving us two ignorant slobs, does Miss Nugent, double agent, suddenly come in from the cold and tell all, and on the very night we were going to put our tender in?
I would have thought that was obvious.
It is to me. But for them as aren't quite as razor-witted as I am, let's spell it out, shall we?
What's she spelling?
She's confessing. Because she knows, like we know, that our tender's lower than Piggott's, right?
Right.
Cyril, love. Some visitors for you. I'll be in the shop if you want me, though.
Mrs. Caldwell, Bernard. Well, sit yourself down, Mrs. Caldwell.
How do?
What can I do for you, then?
Oh, no, it's not me. It's Mrs. Caldwell.
About my wallpaper.
It keeps coming up in the front bedroom.
Oh.
Leaves. That's what we thought, in the guttering.
Oh, I see. Mrs. Caldwell's got dampness in the bedroom because leaves are blocking up the guttering, right?
Wrong.
Wrong?
There were no leaves, not when I got up to have a look, like. The gutter's rotten. It needs replacing.
Well, have you seen Lead Fairclough?
Oh, well, we thought we'd better come and have a word with you, seeing as how you're a bobby and all that, and how you know about these things.
Guttering?
No, letter writing to Mr. Wormold, the landlord. I mean, it's not really Mrs. Caldwell's place to pay for a repair of that sort.
Oh, I see. I didn't realise it was so important. So, you've come round here to ask me to draft the letter for her.
That's right.
You wouldn't like me to go through it again?
No, thanks, Bernard. I think I got the general idea. Just leave it with me, will you?
Right.
Oh, thank you very much.
I told you to be all right, Mrs. Caldwell.
Oh, I off then?
Yes, off we go.
Ta-ta, love. Ta-ta. And I go. What was all that about?
Oh, to write a letter for Mrs. Caldwell, a very important letter about her guttering. Oh, and I suppose it's a good thing somebody around here thinks bobbies are good for summit.
Now, are you sure you want a cup of tea instead of a bottle of beer?
Well, if it's not too much trouble, Stanley.
Well, it is. You better come and help me make it.
You know, when you get to my age, you've overstepped your welcome. You know, I often feel like chucking all blooming lot.
Well, it all boils down to the fact that at heart you're an hippie, Mr. Tatlock.
You what?
An hippie, you know, somebody who's rejected society.
How can you reject something you're living?
Oh, it's easy. You just drop out. Just wherever you happen to be at the time, like.
Oh, aye?
Yeah, I've been reading all about it in Mr. Ogden's paper here.
Well, let's have a look.
Down there.
Assuming that it was a woman who shocked you, Stanley, how are you going to set about finding out?
Oh, touch the old Sherlock Holmes, you know.
Eh?
Process of elimination.
Elimination?
Aye. Make a list in your head and then mark them off. And each one that's clear as they drop out. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Now then, take Elsie Tanner, for instance. Can't be her because she told me the wink could be a woman.
Yeah.
How old? It can't be her because she got me the job in the first place, didn't she?
was hoping I might catch you on your own, like.
Why? What have you done this time?
Oh, not me exactly. No, this acquaintance of mine.
Which one?
Well, I don't think she'd thank me for giving her name, not under the circumstances.
Oh?
But she did ask me to approach you for her, you know, you being a policeman's wife and conversational with the psychiatric side of life, like.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Well, you see, this acquaintance of mine has got this husband.
Oh, yes.
And he works nights.
Like Stan?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's never worked regular nights before. In fact, he's never worked regular anything before, not for any length of time. But she, my friend, like, misses him.
At night?
After 27 years of happily, them being married so long.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's why she did it.
What?
Tried to get him the sack by a malicious telephone call.
Oh, I see. She was the one that did it.
Yeah. So, what do you think she ought to do, like, to rectify the situation?
Well, there's only one thing you can do, Hilda, love.
What?
I mean, go to your Stan, throw yourself on your knees in front of him, and make a complete confession.
You know Mrs. Caldwell?
Oh, hello, Mr. Ogden.
Having a quiet minute?
I think there's something very restful about a public house in the early evening.
I'm not disturbing you, am I?
Oh, no, I'm very glad of your company.
Yeah. I've been wanting to have a little chat with you for some time now.
Tell you, no catch. Tomorrow then. Fixing good. Excuse me then.
Are we on then?
Yeah.
Will it work?
Yes, mate.
It can't fail.
Of course, in the French Foreign Legion, they pin them to the table with a bayonet.
Oh, dear. Oh.
Squealers. Fellas who grass on their mates and drop a minute.
Oh, I see.
Now, you wouldn't grass on a mate, would you, Mrs. Cole?
Oh, no, Mr. Ogden, I've never grassed on anybody. My mother was very hard on grassers. Only, I don't like the idea of bayonets.
Right then, Willie, what's it gonna be, eh? Well, get 'em lined up, Ted, and,
Aye, aye.
Here comes Machiavelli.
Evening, brothers. What are you having then?
Oh, no, my shout. A whiskey and thing for Brother Piggott, please, Emily.
Well, that's very handsome of you, son.
Yes, well, I'm a very handsome lad, Mr. Piggott, or hadn't you noticed?
To the contract then, eh?
Yeah, we'll drink to that, won't we, partner?
Aye.
May the best man win.
Here's to him.